Hey, it's Casey, and for my post this week, I wanted to touch on a phrase that I hear very commonly from a lot of students, and that phrase is, I am not flexible enough to do yoga. So this phrase is bittersweet because you do yoga to become more flexible. When I first started yoga, I couldn't touch my toes. There was a lot of poses that were completely inaccessible to my body at that time. But the more I created a practice for myself and emphasized the things that I could do and slowly worked through those things with consistency and patience, I began to open up my body in ways that I didn't even know were possible. So I never really thought of myself as a flexible person until I started the practice. Huge thing, detaching from the ego, doing what you can, starting where you are, just as you are. So I wanted to create this video so I could touch on some poses that are pretty much accessible to most bodies. Now keep in mind, some of these may still feel uncomfortable for you, or maybe you're dealing with injuries, and I think that this is a separate category all in its own, where maybe you need something that's a little bit more personalized to you specifically. But overall, for the general audience of people that may not have a stretching routine, maybe haven't really stretched or aren't really aware of how to go about it, this is for you. Kind of where to start, some basic poses to open up most areas of the body so you can really start to feel some release and some opening with time. With all things, it's consistency, so maybe start off doing these about 3 times a week, spending a little time, and then over time you'll start to be able to incorporate more, or maybe come into a daily practice. So start where you are, do what you can, and be okay with that. Try not to have any expectation or drop any judgments, and just be, okay? So a couple props that you might want to have on hand, just in case. So a strap, I feel, is very important to have. You don't need a strap, a yoga strap, to go out and spend all that money on something like that. I would suggest if you have a belt or a scarf or even a towel. I've seen a lot of things used as this prop. You don't need anything special, you just need something you can kind of hold on to and use for some opening. Another thing that you can grab is a blanket, a firm blanket I would suggest, or a pillow that you can kind of maneuver. And these are really helpful. So I grabbed a pillow just because we mostly have a lot of pillows around here, so it works. So just have a couple of those on hand. If you don't need a pillow, you don't need a pillow. You don't need a strap, that's great too, okay? They're there if you want them. So I think it's always important to start with more grounding, so taking a seated position. I personally like to sit like this, okay? And this isn't going to be comfortable for everyone. I know a lot of people that have a hard time sitting with their legs crossed, okay? So if you have that issue, feel free to sit on a blanket. You can sit at the edge of a blanket and it props your hips up. You can even stack it up a little higher, however many little stacks you need. Okay, stack those hips up. And by elevating the hips, when you go to cross the legs, your knees will be able to lower a little bit more, which will take a little pressure off of the knees and opening up the hips a little bit more. So feel free, use your props, incorporate them. Okay, so I would suggest starting in your seated position and just holding it there. And just focusing on the breath, closing the eyes, maybe setting intention, and holding here maybe about 10 or 20 breaths, just so you can start to come into your body, become aware of how you're feeling, where there's tension, where there's stress. Okay? It's just body awareness. And then after those 10 to 20 breaths, then come into the practice. And I feel that this is really important, okay? Start with grounding and with grounding. Let all the fun stuff in between allow you to heat, energize, and open, but center yourself first before you do anything. And you'll notice a huge difference, especially with setting intention. So I love to start everything with basic cat-cow stretches. Cat-cow is coming to the hands and knees. If coming onto the joints is uncomfortable, once again, you can take your blanket or you can take your pillow and bring it underneath your knees. There's some little cushion for you. Okay, so if you want that, take it. Otherwise, leave it off to the side. So come into your cat-cow, shoulders over wrists, hips over the knees. Okay, knees or hips width apart. Take a full breath. You're always linking the breath and movement on this one. On your exhale, cat pose, you're rounding the spine, tucking the chin and tailbone, you're pressing through the floor, rounding through the shoulders. And on your inhale, drop the belly, pull the ribs forward, lift the chest, lift the tailbone. Exhaling, cat. Inhaling, cow. And just do this maybe about 5 or 10 rounds through. And this is really a good opening for your shoulders, for your wrists, for your neck, your spine. Everything gets nice and juicy. You're lubricating your joints. Okay. Really focusing on the breath. Okay. And then when you're done there, we can move into some other stretches that I feel are important. A lot of these poses that I'm going to show you today are done from your back. And I feel that that's a nice option to give because you don't have to worry about a lot of the pressure through the lower back. You're relaxed down and you're bringing more focus into the hips and joints. But first, let's come into a seated position. We're just going to open up the shoulders a little bit. So start with some neck rolls. Sit up tall, drop the chin to the chest, roll the head to one side, and then do the other side. Just kind of feel the breath and just move slowly. The faster you move, the less connected you'll feel to your body, so take your time. We don't breathe super fast and quickly, and if you do, being more aware is going to help you slow that down. But I want you to feel more connected to your breath. So slow movement, slow breath. And then once you've done that a few times through and you feel open, lift your head, roll the shoulders out. Okay. So this one's one of my favorite. Grab your straps. Okay. This one opens up the shoulders so good. You're going to take the strap and you're going to extend your arms out. Okay. So my arms are nice and straight. And I'd suggest creating a nice length between your hands. And you can adjust the length as we go through. Okay, I'm going to turn sideways on this one, or semi-sideways, you can see what I'm doing here. Now I'm going to lift my arms directly up and over my head. Now once you get to the top, you might be like, oh wow, this is really hard. I can't get my arms back any further. So if that's the case, take your hands, bring them further apart, okay? Until your arms can drop all the way back behind you, keeping your arms straight. Try to avoid bending the elbows to get them around, okay? Just hold further out. Now if you get up to the top and you're not feeling anything at all, walk your hands closer together. You want to be able to feel an edge. So once you get to the top, let them roll back, okay? And just continue to do this a few times through. And you may notice as you go through, you might start to feel more open. Maybe your hands walk a little closer together. It's about finding that edge, finding that spot where you're not forcing, you're not straining, but you're able to feel some resistance or some tension so that you're opening through that. Okay, so once you've done that, let's say about 5 times through, you can set your strap off to the side, roll the shoulders out. Now we're going to make our way onto our backs, and we're going to be there for a while. Have your strap handy so you can set it off to the side. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate one side, but balance is key here. So if I'm doing one side, please note that you're going to be doing the other side afterwards too, okay? So make your way onto your backs. And once you're here, go ahead and grab a hold of your strap. We're going to do some leg extensions. You're going to pull one knee into your chest. Now, I'm always going to demonstrate with my right side, and you can kind of make mental notes. So I'll address right or left, okay? But depending on which side you're doing, you can make that mental note. So I'm going to pull my knee into my chest. And I'm going to take the strap and I'm going to loop it around that foot, okay, and extend the leg up. Now maybe you don't get full extension, okay, maybe you're more here, and that's okay because you can work on getting more extension. Now this knee is bent because it's releasing any tension I may feel into my lower back, but if you're not feeling any at all, then maybe you want to work on extending that leg out. And you're just going to feel a little bit more opening into your hamstrings or your hips. So maybe you're working on more extension, which you can slowly work through here, or maybe you're working on drawing in, which is coming in a little bit closer towards you, okay? Now notice my shoulders, okay? You may notice that you're lifting the shoulders up to hold closer to the strap, okay? Instead of doing this, you don't want to use the tension in the shoulders and the arms. Hold further down on the strap and let the shoulders relax down towards the floor. Use only as much energy as you need to. So you're going to hold here about 5 or 10 full breaths, either working on extension or working on drawing in. So once you're done with those breaths, take the strap and bring it into the hand that is the same leg that's extended. So right now I'm holding the strap with my right hand and my right leg is extended. Okay. Now I'm going to take that leg and I'm going to start to open it out to the side. And as I open it out to the side, I'm stopping before my left hip starts lifting. So I'm not taking the leg all the way down and letting my opposite hip kind of curl up. I'm pressing that left hip down and then stopping wherever I feel that edge, right before the hip wants to lift. And I'm just going to hold here and breathe, okay? If you want to, you can take something and bring it underneath this leg so it's not just dead weight. You should be able to hold here for maybe about 5 or so breaths. And then when you're done with those breaths, bring the leg back up to center. Okay, that one will be a good opening for your inner hip and for your groin. And now we're going to work more for the outer leg, the outer hip, more reaching the sciatic. Okay, so you're going to take the strap into your opposite hand. Okay, and just drop the other hand out to the side. Now keep the leg above you to begin. You're going to pull it in or extend as much as you can. And then about 2 inches at a time. So this one you're going to move really slowly. You're going to start to slowly open the leg to the opposite side. Okay, so my right leg is starting to move over to the left, just a couple inches or so until you start to feel all that intensity radiating down the side of the leg. So once you're there, you can just work on drawing in and extending out. You will feel a lot of intensity here. Just breathe through. And like I said, this helps to really release a lot of sciatic pain for me. I notice it's beneficial for a lot of others too. And you're also still working your hamstring, the outer hip. Okay, so once again, 5 breaths here. Leg comes back up, bend the knee. Now, we're going to come into half happy baby. So for this, you can keep the strap around your foot if you like. But now you're going to bend the knee, and you're going to take the same hand as the leg that's bent. You're going to reach through the inside of the leg and grab a hold of your strap. So maybe you hold on to the strap. If it feels accessible, you can also reach to the outer foot. You don't even need the strap, okay? Half happy baby. The sole of the foot faces up towards the ceiling, and you're bending the knee, pulling down on the hand to feel the knee drop closer to the floor. So you're feeling a deeper stretch in through the inner hip and through the groin, the outer hip. So maybe you hold here, or maybe once again, you have a hold of the strap and you're doing the same thing. You're pulling, you're drawing it in. And once again, if having that opposite leg extended is too much, bend the knee. Take that variation. It's going to take a lot of the pressure out. Do what feels good, okay? So you're just going to hold here once again for maybe about 5 breaths. And then when you're done, bend the knee, release the strap if you have it, extend it out, and shake it out. And I want you to pause after doing this and really observe the differences between both of your sides and how just taking that little amount of time can make such a huge impact and difference in your body. So once you're done with that, do the opposite side. I'm going to go into the next pose just so the video is a little shorter for you and you can have more to view and bring into your practice. But no, always do both sides. So for the next one, this one's really good for the outer hip and in for the glutes. You're going to bend both of the knees, walk the feet in. You're going to lift the leg up. So I'm starting with my right leg. And I'm crossing the ankle over my opposite thigh. So my right ankle crosses over my left thigh. And the knee is opening. So I'm opening that hip away from me. Now from here, I'm going to take my hands. I'm going to reach through the space between my legs. Okay, so I'm reaching through. And I'm grabbing either the back of the left thigh, so I'm reaching around that thigh, or I'm reaching around the shin, okay? Each option is fine. If staying here is enough, stay here. Otherwise, grab hold of whatever's there for you, flex the feet, and draw in. Now maybe you stay right here, and that's perfectly fine, or you can work on pulling in closer towards the chest. What I want you to avoid is letting the hips curl up. So press the backside of the hips down, create a long spine, and just hold here for about 5 or so breaths. Just nice full inhales and exhales, releasing the tension through the breath. And then when you're done, you can release, uncross the legs, and just kind of shake it out however it feels good. And the last thing I'm going to do here is coming into some twists, okay? So I'm going to try to be really specific on my lefts and rights, and hopefully you can follow along with me from a video. So from here, I'm going to pull the right knee into the chest. I'm going to extend my left leg out, okay? So my right knee's in, my left leg is out. I'm going to grab the knee with my left hand. So I'm grabbing the knee with my opposite hand, and just let your arm fall out. And then I'm going to pull the knee across my body. So I'm pulling my right knee to the left side. And I'm stopping whenever my body tells me to, but I'm guiding it towards the left side and down towards the floor, just as much as I can. Now don't pull so much that your shoulder starts really lifting off the ground. Okay, you want to relax that shoulder down, and then just take the twist until you can find that edge. And just hold here and continue to breathe. Then when you're done, head faces up, lift the knee back to center, and extend it out. And then the opposite side, pulling the left knee in, grabbing it with the right hand. Let the other arm fall out, and then pull the knee over towards the right side. Your head will face up or to the left. Okay, and just breathe here. Once again, 5 breaths each side. And when you're done, head faces up. Lift the knee back in, extend it out, and shake it out. Okay, so from here you can pull the knees in. You can rock side to side and roll over to a side. Press yourself up. And just make your way to a comfortable seat once again. So these are a lot of basic poses that you can use to access different areas of the body, neck, shoulders. We got some spinal work in there, a lot through the hips and hamstrings. I feel this is where we bear a lot of tension and stress. I'll have other videos in the future that may target specific areas like the spine or heart opening specifically, but these are some really good ones to start with, to start to really find more opening through the body. So we're going to end the same way we started, coming into a seated position. Once again, feel free to prop your hips up and taking the hands to heart center. Feel the breath, just close the eyes. Reconnect yourself, 10 to 20 full breaths. Feel your intentions and thank yourselves. So always thanking your bodies for what they're able to do, rather than emphasizing the things that we wish that they could do, okay? So after you're done with those breaths, thank yourselves, open your eyes, and enjoy the rest of your day. So I feel like that's a pretty well-rounded practice as far as getting a lot of different things to opening up the body. Doing this about 3 times a week is going to be really beneficial for you, not just on a physical level, mentally, emotionally, all different aspects. And like I said, starting off with 3 days a week may turn into more, or maybe you want different poses or different variations. You can do that too. If you have any questions, you want any further modifications, please feel free to reach out to me. This is how to gain more flexibility into the body slowly, gently for most body types. So once again, reach out with any questions, and I have more videos coming your way soon. So thank you for tuning in, and I will see you soon. Namaste.